Hello guys, faceit, and today I'm going to showcase the system that Spirit use on their CT side to achieve amazing rotations and reactions that make them one of the best CT teams on Anubis. Spirit's tried and tested system is impactful while easy to learn and will give you and your team the upper hand when playing Anubis. To put it simply, the system is 3 things that complement their players. Get Artfrost and AWP as soon as possible, put Donk in the multi-frag positions, and use utility at the right timings to allow for free-flowing rotations to be prepared on any bomb site. To start off with the first point, having an AWP is extremely pivotal to success on the CT side. There are 2 ways that Spirit allow Artfrost to pull out the big green quickly. The first is when they employ a stack on the pistol round, he is always baited for. Sometimes if the stack is heavy, he will buy absolutely nothing. This allows him to eco for the next round and bring the AWP out in the third. Another strat is when they win a pistol. Assuming the other team ecos, Chopper will buy armor, utility, and MP9 and drop the MP9 to Artfrost so he can farm ecos. This is great as it helps confidence, allowing Artfrost to farm $600 per kill. If he dies without a kill, he can afford an AWP and light armor. A kill will bring him utility. If he survives, he will drop the MP9 back to Chopper and still buy an AWP. Starting off with the first gun round, we see Artfrost with a good spawn go for a peek from dark. Donk is ready to support him and trade if needed, and Chopper is assisting mid with a molly bridge and a flash to peek stabs. While this is happening, Magixx is dropping his smoke and molly and camera and will rotate CT to assist B. This is imperative, as the main reason doing this is that Chopper will block mid by smoking on top of his molly, and Zont1x will molly A main and then smoke on top. This gives both of them one utility set to Sheb to block A and camera mid round and late round if anything happens. Chopper mollies bridge first, since if the T's try to go fast mid with utility, they have to smoke this mid molly. This sound cue will prompt Chopper to throw a HE grenade on top of the molly to block further with a smoke and a flash, and will call a rotate to help. After no noise heard in mid, Chopper will smoke on top of his molly. This is also good as if they do instant window smoke as a bait, his smoke will outlast theirs, so they will need to re-exec mid to take, or they'll have to explode a smoke, giving info to the CTs. Depending on the round, Chopper here will do 2 things. He will either rotate to B, so that after his smoke fades and a dark is re-smoked, he will then push for info, as because the mid smoke is faded, all of the B and mid players will want to go take mid control. Therefore he will create space and will get info. The other thing he will do is he will play towards A main. This is typically when Artfrost is towards B, and he will play to support Zont1x. He will be holding mid, or he'll be listening for steps. Zont1x, after mollying and smoking, will then play anti-flash in A main, waiting for them to make a play using his smoke. Either they'll nade it or they'll flash through it. He gets given the molly by Chopper, and therefore he will get a kill off of this play. Because the MIBR player got flashed into A main, Donk does not need to worry about dark yet. He can delay his smoke and utility a little bit, since it's doubtful someone will be close since they're helping in A main. Since the A defaulter is dead, no one is throwing utility into dark. Also, this peek from Artfrost early round indicate no one was instantly close dark, no one is throwing utility in mid, therefore he does not even need to worry about dark anymore. The prediction from here is 2 to 3 outside mid and B, so therefore he will use the smoke B main, blocking them just in case they try to exec or walk in for info. Magixx will then use a deeper angle on the right side to peek into dark, which is a bit unexpected if someone walks in, and therefore after he will delay dark by using his HE grenade and then a flash just to do any damage just in case someone is sitting there. Artfrost, after his dark peek, will then just hold B main just in case anybody peeks off the info. He will then rotate to mid to cover as his tether has been pulled, so the Chopper can assist A main in case more numbers are spotted. After the A smoke, Zont1x mollies A main, given to him by Chopper, to deny the aggro because there is no dark pressure yet. If a T was there, there would be some pressure. After his molly, he will ask for a flash from Chopper. This will then prompt Chopper to rotate towards B because there's no mid info still, and nobody has been spotted into A main. As this happens, a pillar molly comes in on B, indicating dark pressure. A flash is now used to delay B main for a few seconds to get a rotate. Artfrost, who is in temple, smokes B main for them at 40 seconds, meaning the hit will come at 20 seconds if it's B, which is very late. With Magixx and Donk taking the pivot positions, which is pillar and emo, and with a previous kill in A main, this smoke is powerful, as if it's a B split, the majority will be in B main since one less person is in dark. Zont1x's tether has now been pulled. Since Chopper and Artfrost both rotate to B, he will need to quickly check mid just in case there is a mid lurk. Due to B main being blocked, the T's will now think the next avenue of attack is mid. This is readable as no B exec utility has been thrown, Magixx and Donk don't hear anything, therefore they're going to re-aggro Dark for info and space, checking their corners, confirming it's not B. This will then prompt Chopper and Artfrost to swing Temple really hard, so that Artfrost can pick doors and Chopper will swing anybody that happens to be looking into camera onto A. This is a key move that Chopper will do a lot for Artfrost, granting him a lot of kills. Due to the Dark info and the fact that they spotted 3 in mid, they know the end call is an A split, so therefore Donk and Magixx will then go push hard canal and to help flank A main, and they will crunch site together. If Chopper and Artfrost get smoked in Temple, they will rotate into the storage and will help with Zont1x, therefore creating a 5-man pincer. Here in the next round, they're against a force with 2 safe guns, meaning less utility and expecting more contact plays or instant pops. At the start of the round, Artfrost peeks mid dry as a reaction to MIBR not taking mid in the previous round, so Chopper doesn't waste utility at bridge. If they contact, then it's a free kill. He will then flash high and peek to the left in case someone is walking up. Therefore, MIBR are now scared of mid, so he will just molly and rotate. For Chopper, he will go drop his utility to Zont1x on A, he will do the same as the last round, then he will go passive in heaven. If he needs to get help, he can ask Artfrost for some help. Chopper rotates to B in case of a B contact, and will hold an underhand flash that allows him and Donk to double peek B main. Another example of this flash is this underhand jump through flash. There's the same result just from a safer position. However, it is not a position you can pivot and fight on, only tuck. Donk's typical B start is jiggling Dark at the start of the round, then using his molly at 138, 137, since this is a time if someone walks up into Dark. If a mid player can't hear steps due to lots of mid control, or he hears someone rushing Dark, he'll use it at 141 to stop a rush. If Dark is smoked by the T's, he will molly behind it at 133, 134, then he will explode the smoke, scaring anybody that's close. The smoke will now start to fade, so then he will re-smoke. If someone throws the smoke from spawn, he can just jiggle and save his utility since he's not worried about someone walking through it, because it's pretty shallow. Magixx standard start is just jiggling CT with a molly out to block B just in case of a B pot. He would smoke if it was a B exec. Donk here will smoke on top of his molly and sit jiggling just in case someone runs through with a flash and exploding the smoke. Since nothing is happening around the map, he will nade behind the smoke to do damage just in case they are waiting behind it, then he will ask for utility from his teammates to refresh the dark smoke. MIBR put the slightest amount of dark pressure once the smoke is about to fade, therefore Spirit know this is a canal default, attempting to split B. Off of this info, Zont1x, who is playing retake on A between Heaven and Broken Wall, will smoke him in. I would prefer him to do this lineup so he does not get caught off at this timing of running towards him main to throw the smoke. In between the cross of the metal bars, crouch, aim at the dark dot, stand up, double click, walk, jump throw. Very consistent, very easy. MIBR are now blocked dark and they're now blocked A. So therefore, the 3B players will then again get aggro B main for info and play trades. Lack of info B main would mean it's mid and A so they can rotate. Here they have a slight misplay since Magixx wanted a flash Chopper, however Donk trains as they only hear one other guy shooting Chopper. The dark smoke is still up, however Artfrost will rotate on the noise to hold anyone coming out dark just in case. No one does, he will rotate to storage through CT since it's risky to repost in mid since someone could have taken timing here. Spirit assumed they will rotate into A, so they leave B and play retake. There's no point in leaving someone on site to fight a 1v3 when they can 4v3 the retake with their utility. Here, MIBR will still proceed in taking dark and will eventually plant on the B-bomb site. The retake here is a priority smoke in B main, a flash over jail wall and push around site, winning the round. The next round we will see the same setup come in. Because of the utility drop from Magixx, they can properly block this heavy A pop that is coming in. Chopper will smoke in front, he will nade deeper and play anti-flash. Zont1x will molly in front, he will nade in front and play between his smoke and his molly. This is a bit of a problem with these smoke explosion strats. You have a lot of time to react and dump utility like this. Artfrost, who previously started B, will rotate to mid just to hold just in case there's a lurk, and he's also a faster rotate to help them on B with some utility. Other key things are the Magixx and Donk will stay just in case it's a fake, as there is no point rotating early since he cannot help his A players in time on the site. After utility fades, Zont1x will push for info with Chopper spam support and clears A main. Here, I think it would be better if Chopper sat pillar and Zont1x tucked into A main, since as Zont1x will push, he will then die to someone just holding. Since MIBR have slowed and are blocked dark, Spirit will decide to re-clear mid just in case of a lurk. They will then re-aggro into A main as 3 to fight. If they fight heavy and go 2v2, they might run in and not expect Magixx behind them, who will most likely get 2 more. If it's B, they leave Donk, one of CS2's brightest stars to anchor who should get 2, and the other 3 can then flank into dark. If it's an A re-exec, they'll have 3 on the bomb site ready, which is exactly what happens. Artfrost and Magixx use these support flashes over plat to delay and for Chopper to try and use to get kills. Magixx, since he still has his nade, will then nade the Heaven Smoke, and Artfrost can peek Broken Wall and fight with Magixx. From here, MIBR use attack pause, so the guess is that they need to start playing in mid. Here Chopper will smoke first as a different way of blocking mid. Due to the spam, he will try to nade behind it. Unfortunately, he dies. Here is where I think they make a slight mistake. I think the utility should be thrown inside of camera just in case Chopper ever dies in mid. Zont1x can still retrieve it and play safely. What's also important is if a T-side member was to go carpet and to throw a nade into connector, they can blow the utility away. So I would advise throwing it into this corner where it will only bounce around inside of camera. What's important to note when Artfrost starts B and Magixx gives utility in camera is that Artfrost will drop his molly in spawn or in cave so that Magixx can pick it up to use in B or even when he needs to rotate to go help A. On B, a left side B smoke is used early. Artfrost will play anti-flash in case of a pop, Magixx will hold his molly. Since they don't pop, he will use this nice brick on the edge of temple to look over the smoke. Here, I also think he should have given his smoke to Magixx and rotated to mid. And they could have played the 4v5. Instead, they just gamble B and unfortunately lose the round because Zont1x dies. The next round, MIBR will start doing heavier fast mid utility. Therefore, Chopper will dump all his utility to scare them off. Zont1x here will save his smoke to use as more reactionary since he doesn't need to block a main default since if they are heavy in mid. Another example of Zont1x doing this is when he hears that Chopper's bridge molly has been smoked, so he will not even molly, he will just keep his utility. Donk off of any B contact will instantly drop his utility and will swing and fight anybody in B main who is peeking just so he doesn't get shot in the back. Magixx rotating in flashes B main so Artfrost can re-peek B main, and since he has been spotted, he will then give his smoke to Magixx and he will go rotate into mid. From here, more B pressure comes in, so Magixx will dump his utility, he will then prompt a rotate. There's no peek and nothing instantly is fighting B, so therefore Chopper and Artfrost will do the temple double swing again. Magixx will then give Dark a deep peek for info since B main is smoked, and then he was not seeing anyone. As a reminder, since at the start of the round, 2 was swinging B, 1 was doing heavy mid pressure, and 1 was pressuring Dark, Zont1x will then only expect 1 maybe towards a main, and maybe that guy is doing some support Dark, so then he will just use his smoke reactively. There's no point using it instantly. When it's possible for MIBR to take B through this Dark pressure, he will smoke just in case this is a fake for Dark and since noise has been cut. Chopper in this case didn't need to give Zont1x his molly since he had his smoke to block. Therefore when rotating B, he will then smoke B main and molly Dark. He should tuck here so he doesn't get swung when throwing the utility. Magixx here will make a really nice play, trying to get in front of the B main smoke and the left side B smoke to control the entrance by jumping up on jail. He then uses the left side B smoke as cover so that they can't shoot him from Dark, which nets him 4 lovely kills. First off, we will start off in mid. To fight for mid is only an early mid pick by Artfrost, or Zont1x will assist with utility and firepower in mid. This doesn't have to be a start round call to fight 2 mid, you could be 2A and then Zont1x can come and assist mid if nothing is fighting early A. If they kill the person distracting mid and Artfrost stays alive, they can be 3 ready to fight into A. What's important to note when Zont1x does fight mid is A is being covered by the AWP of Artfrost, meaning if they spot Zont1x in mid, the AD filters will attempt to accelerate and will be cut off by Artfrost's AWP. Some examples are like this round, trying to counter a fast take with Zont1x holding a flash for Chopper to peek off if they try to come through mid. No one initially so he can go grenade canal steps, come back, assist Chopper with a flash, smoke bridge off, or even molly in front to support even further, and then they will try and do the max amount of damage to multiple numbers that are trying to come across mid. Even here, Donk comes to rotate just because they know it's a heavy mid strat, also just by using 2 utility sets do they get 2 kills. Another example I'll show you is against VP. This setup they employ is to counter someone simply contacting mid. By playing an off angle in front of doors, and by playing close to the window, they will employ a cool double peek, when Mia here will try to smoke window from the back of bridge, and then he will try to cross to the right side to throw his molly. They will then molly and then can attempt to flash peek mid to try and kill him. Here, because it is a mid round, they will give it up because they know that the terrorists are in correct positions to react off the info of 2 fighting for mid. Another double mid setup is they have Artfrost who was previously AWPing A to go AWPing connector, and they have Chopper who will set up this back stone which I call Nico, so that they can control anybody trying to contact or walk in the mid or sit inside the window smoke. The idea of having 2 CTs fighting for mid is if the Ts employ heavy fast mid strat, they will have to use a lot of utility. This is why Chopper will always molly mid. For example, if they smoke and then they molly here, when they come through mid, they will have to smoke this molly to push. Therefore, if they come to here and they try to fake an A split, the solo mid lurk won't be able to do this because he'll be smoking this. Therefore, if they hear this smoke come up, then at least 2 people will be in mid, threatening an A split, so then they can rotate accordingly. The other thing that's important is if anybody does a dark smoke, that means they would have wasted 4 smokes so that they can complete default. Therefore, they only have 1 smoke to end on an extremity. So for example, they will only smoke heaven if they come A, or on B, they can only smoke left side B or temple. So therefore you can play like an AWP here for example, or someone passive in CT like this, or like this holding dark. What's also important is if they do a doors molly, a window molly and a doors molly, therefore they've wasted 2 mollies, and then probably someone will use one in B main at the start of the round, so it's 3 mollies used. Therefore they cannot complete a whole default doing this. They will not be able to molly into A main and also into dark and then try to execute on a bomb site, because they will have no mollies left. So make sure you're counting utility. Therefore you can play positions like emo on B. On A for example, you can start to play positions like plat and site because they won't be able to molly you out. Also your rotations can come through onto scaff to assist you. For some A main aggression, if Zont1x gets the first 2 left side spawns, he will go peek deep into A main off a flash, cutting anyone off getting to the right side box. Here he can save a smoke as he can jiggle and also push late round if any B noise. This is good since here is where you would throw a smoke and a molly from to cut off information to the CTs in A main. However, if the Ts have the best spawn out of the 5 spawns, they can beat you to the box and kill you off of your flash, so beware of this. Also, the Ts could just get a flash into A main and entry from carpets to catch you off and kill you. Since the Ts were running a fast mid strat, Zont1x didn't need to molly or smoke A main. Therefore, when Chopper dies, he'll molly A main in case of reaction. He will then smoke off camera, nade behind it, and he'll come close to his camera smoke. Since heavy mids indicate at least 3 players, so he will attempt to fight it if they come through with his rotator. His rotator is Magixx. He will drop utility in camera, pick up ArtFrost Molotov, and rotate through beach to assist Zont1x in case of a split. He'll molly A main and go re-aggro A main with Zont1x, attempting to trade frag the solo player outside of A main. Artfrost will lead B on the heavy mid call to try and get a kill in mid, smoked off temple, and common that Zont1x has smoked off camera. He knows the next reaction is for the heavy mid players to rush into dark and split B. Therefore, he smokes off B main to rotate into the site and get an early peek down into dark, getting a kill. One of the main issues being an A player is dealing with banana pressure and utility that forces you back. Depending on the time thrown, they will react with their own utility. If the deep A main smoke comes in, Zont1x will always use his utility to block this control. Then he'll get given a smoke by Chopper. He will jiggle calm with a molly, or a smoke if he has one. Zont1x will sit on this crack angle with the smoke to use reactively if he spots an enemy. When spotted, he will throw the smoke and will play close to it. Chopper will then transition to site or heaven, so if they explode the smoke and try to run through, Zont1x will maybe get 1, he might die, but Chopper will refrag and fight on Zont1x contact. If the smoke fills back up, then Chopper will multi-frag as they come through the smoke. Another way is to wait for the utility to fade. He will then molly close him in, and then get a flash that will blind deep to get a good angle. He does this just to try to catch someone off that is playing close in A main after throwing the util. If he gets given a smoke, he could just throw it deeper and keep the control. If you face a team that does the smoke a lot, Spirit ran this idea that the AWP should play mostly on A for this kill. This is so they have extra support playing against a team that heavies defaults A main. The counter was to have only Artfrost molly, not smoke, and to hold from platform. This was to conserve utility and to then use it reactively against this utility set. Also, if they happen to flash in, then he'll get a free kill. On this round, Zont1x will use his grenade on steps to deal any damage to any AWPer on the steps, then he will molly, smoke, and play anti-flash as this util comes in. He will then push through fame smoke, killing him as he tries to flash in. What's key is fighting for this control so they can't come close. Chopper in mid playing the third B rotate, then if necessary, Zont1x and Chopper can fight for mid from camera and temple. Artfrost can then go back to heaven to play retake and get free AWP kills on contacting opposition in A. Another example happens on another round against VP, where Zont1x doesn't fight in front of the util. Instead, he will do the retake A main smoke, he will nade close, just to do any damage with someone that's close, then he'll walk into the angles, because if they're close, then he's done 50 damage ready to them, so it's easy 2 body shots. With nice spray control, he'll also get 2 from this. This round is half the reason why Artfrost is AWPing early A. Zont1x will get flashed in A main quickly, just to give a quick peek, This will then bait the flash peek in from Fame, who thinks that Zont1x is playing Coast, which nets Artfrost a free kill, getting a free 4v5. Also another round when they get rushed, when Artfrost is AWPing on A, he will just molly the entrance, which then just means Zont1x will molly in front, and then he will just spam his gun down, hoping to stop anyone and delay for like a second. Artfrost will also play this close angle, dodging every flash that will typically come in on an A rush, so he can get one kill and then fall back and delay with his own utility. So just as a way to counter A rushes, typically if you want to start, you can look up in the sky and sometimes you can see like a heaven smoke come in from canal, but otherwise we just molly like this. Sometimes Zont1x will hold this nade, which you can nade there. He would smoke here, and then they would do the same utility as previous, where he would just sit around here, dodging any flashes that will come through, and then Chopper, who would have mollied and then probably smoked, would then collect Magixx util, and then come through, could molly off the pillar, maybe it wouldn't work, molly there, nade, come onto site, and then would hold this sideline with him, and they would both get multiple kills. As much as Donk is the best rated player on CS2, he can still be caught out. Like in this round, he gets double swung through the smoke, but to bring this back in their favour, Magixx, who will smoke B main and molly dark. This basic block utility allows rotations to come in through in the name of Chopper. As Magixx holds the deep angle, Chopper can walk in dark. What I would really like if Magixx kept this flash so that Chopper can then push in. He will then clear anybody close and would have got these lovely 2 kills. Chopper could have given his flash to him, to be honest. Now we will look at the typical positions and setups they will use when they play 3 on B. A standard start with Magixx, he will drop his utility and camera. For an anti-eco setup, Artfrost will hold B main from outside temple, Donk will block early dark, then Donk will fall back into emo, Artfrost will hold a smoke for B main, and Magixx will hold his nade. When they hear utility and steps from dark, Artfrost will smoke B main, Magixx will nade, and then they will all fight B main. If dark was first contact, Magixx will hold the sightline from Spinks into dark, and Artfrost will smoke B main and peek the left side off of Donk's contact. Another anti-B main take round is just by having Donk do his usual start. He will then pivot around this pillar I call Kika. Magixx will hold the Nico flash for them to jump peek and both peek off of, and Chopper is in CT holding for them to run out. Because this was an anti-eco, they had Artfrost just jiggling camera. If they spot anyone, he will use his utility and fall back closer to heaven. Also, Zont1x is playing heaven, spotting into A main. Since he has the rifle, he will beat any pistols in a straight 1v1. If they go for an A split, they will crossfire camera and will get at least 3 or 4. Most common standard full buy setup from Spirit is by having Magixx drop his utility, Donk jiggling dark, and Artfrost from many angles AWPing into B main. This I think is a good idea and a good adaptation to CS2, considering it's incredibly hard just to have a rifle holding B main on CS2. Just to how easy it is to swing with a rifle and kill anybody on site. What I really like about how Artfrost plays is during the start, he will post on this angle. This angle is if they B rush, then he can easily fall back into CT and play more retake, hopefully getting more kills. He will then transition to this position. If they come into B main, they will get kills, he can pivot around the site. Also at this point is when someone will be fighting into dark, so he can always also just by quickly smoking into B main. And then eventually he will come to like this angle here, mainly because if they B popped or they B exec, the smokes will be here and here, so he'll be ready to get a first kill, and most of the flashes will land over the entrance here, so he won't be blinded by most of these flashes. So these are really good angle choices by him. A bit of an unorthodox setup is by having Magixx start close B main by pillar holding a molly. This is okay since they planned at the start of the round to then push B main on timing. He can then also help dark if he needs to. Donk is just doing his standard and blocking dark, and Artfrost is left side B site, holding B main. Chopper makes sure to use only his smoke at mid, so he has one piece of utility he can block camera with. They decide to push A main as 2 when mid control occurs, which is still another good form of aggression. If Magixx wanted to push B main, Artfrost can throw these flashes for him to push. Aim here through a simple run jump throw bind, then aim at this triangle, double click, and then run jump throw again. Also to note, when Artfrost gets the best spawn out of the 5, he will most likely go for a dark peek if they don't do an instant dark smoke. The link between how they set up the city side fully depends on the style of team they are facing. If a team is a slow default team that takes it slow and waits for utility, they will employ the utility idea, where Magixx will drop his utility for them on A. However, if they're a heavy mid team that likes to take mid pretty heavy early round, then he has Zont1x for any assistance to block them. If they're a heavy A main team, then he'll get Artfrost to be the point man in A main, with Zont1x to support in utility on A and mid. The main key is everybody is on tethers. They can easily rotate into positions if they take a position heavy and force the fights. In mid, for example, Donk is happy to rotate to mid to triple walk mid if mid is taken heavy. Since in CS2, since smokes last longer, they can easily leave a bomb site, clear mid, and then be on the same bomb site in time for the smokes to fade, ready for a hit. This is why I think that Spirit's CT side is so strong. They are all free flowing, ready to rotate and assist in 2v1s, never really taking straight individual duels if they're an exposed player, like A or mid. However, this is where I find that Spirit faults. Over time, people will get used to how they play, and top teams will anti-strat this system. Even making this video, I can spot some tendencies that are really easy to play against and will win easy rounds. I would love to see more instant aggression, say a water and canal take to delay and making the T's worry, even just by throwing the util would be good. AWP getting on deep lines, like setting early jail and walking into B main, or peeking deep into A main early, then walking through the A main to peek deeper, or even just leaving the AWP in mid, and then free flowing around this rotation, and allowing the AWP to get free kills when they take mid control. Chopper playing more close mid after he uses his smoke. Sometimes it's easier just to play around the utility if they like to fake it, to then push and get a timing on a flank. I'd like for Donk to be using his skill ceiling more, by nuking dark smokes with a flash from a teammate. It's these type of gimmick kills that will grant your team additional 4v5s, make you win more rounds, making you win games. I think the additional incorporation of these ideas to get entry kills on top of their well thought out system will be a game changer for CT side Anubis. Hence why I think they have the best CT side. Thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.